Hi, my name is Sarah Garay. I'm the Financial Aid Assistant for the Financial Aid Office here at Texas A&M University Commerce.
My name is Katie Perez. I am the Title Loan Coordinator at the Financial Aid Office at A&M Commerce. Today we are going to be talking about financial aid and resources for our DACA and undocumented students.
So the biggest question on every prospective college student's mind is, how do I pay for college in Texas? Well, you can apply for student financial aid using the TASFA application and also research scholarship opportunities in your local community in the state and nationally. So when I was a senior in high school, I would go up to my academic and or my college counselor, and I would ask them, are there any scholarships that are available that I can apply for right here in our school district and or in the community?
So some of the common questions that we get is, what is the TASFA? What schools accept the TASFA? And is my information going to be safe? So the TASFA is the Taxes Application for State Financial Aid. This application is for students who do not qualify for the FAFSA and who are residents of Texas. Most schools, most colleges and universities in the state of Texas will accept this application, but that does not mean that every school will have the funding available to those specific group of students. So it's really important that if you are applying to a college or university, even if it's not just us, that you research and you contact their financial aid office to see what kind of sources that they can offer you. And then, is your information going to be safe? Your information, your status. We are not required to release any information to ICE or USCIS. We have policies and procedures in place that protect students' information, one of those being FERPA. We may be required to disclose educational records or comply with court orders, but your information is not going to be shared, and it is protected.
A couple of other questions are, what types of aid do I qualify for, and what do I need to complete the TASFA? Well, DACA and undocumented students do not qualify for federal student aid. These are examples of the direct Stafford loan, which is the subsidized and unsubsidized loan, the federal Pell Grant, the Teach Grant, federal work study, and other grants as well. DACA and undocumented students do qualify for most scholarships: the Texas Educational Opportunity Grant, Texas Public Educational Grant, and the most common one, the Towered Excellence Access and Success Grant, also known as the Texas Grant. DACA and undocumented students also qualify for Texas College Work Study, as well as certain private educational loans and or set-aside grant funds that the university has set aside for specific students. What do you need to do to complete the TASFA? Well, you do need to complete a signed paper TASFA application, which is available on October 1st for the future of every academic year, and it must be submitted individually to each school. You need to complete a TASFA application to each university that you are consider applying for. So for example, if you want to apply for both Baylor and Texas A&M University Commerce, well, you need to submit a TASFA application to Baylor and a TASFA application to Commerce. Parents and self-income tax information from 2 years prior. So if you are applying for the 2021-2022 TASFA application, you'll need to submit your 2019 tax information. You and your parents' Social Security or DACA or ITIN numbers, and of course, your basic information. Copies of required documentation as listed by the institution of your choice. So we highly recommend that you visit each financial aid website for the university and you see what documentation is required for the TASFA application.
So if you are interested in applying to Texas A&M University Commerce for the 2021-2022 year, these are the steps that you're going to need to take. First, you're going to need to apply and get accepted into the university through the admission side. Second, I advise you to go ahead and order the tax return transcripts for yourself and your parents for 2019 from irs.gov. It can take up to 2 weeks to get mailed into you if you don't qualify for the online option. If you are required to register with the selective service, go ahead and go to sss.gov and complete that requirement and make a copy of that registration to be turned in with your application. Then starting October 1st, you can go to collegeforalltexans.com and download the 2021 TASFA application and complete it and have it signed by you and your parents. And then you'll need to mail and fax in your application and documentation to our office. The priority deadline is going to be January 15th. The students who turn it in at that time or before, they're going to be considered first for our limited financial aid options for TASFA students. In this packet, go ahead and include the application, the 2019 tax return transcripts, the 2019 W-2s or 1099s for you and your parents, and a copy of your selective service registration if you're required to do so. If you or your parent file as self-employed, you can turn in the Schedule C profit or loss form from that worksheet to our office in place of the W-2 requirement. And then lastly, always make sure that you check your university email and your MyLeo student account for updates and notifications. Your university email is the only place that we will be sending you information to keep your stuff private and protected. So starting October 1st, the scholarship portal for our university also opens up, and this is going to be accessible through the apps page of your MyLeo student account. So make sure you go in, you set up your account, you complete the general scholarship application, and start applying for as many scholarships that you are interested in and are eligible for. So just know that the priority deadline for those scholarships is October 31st, and they do start closing at that time. So it's really important to do as many as possible.
Other questions that many students may have are, what if my parents do not file taxes or have valid social security numbers? Well, if your parents do not file taxes but do earn income, it should be answered as so on the TASFA application. Most schools vary on the type of documentation they accept in lieu of IRS tax forms. So it's good to contact your financial aid advisor or the office to ask what is acceptable. If they do file taxes using an ITIN number, you and your parents are able to request copies of your tax forms from the IRS. What if you want to go to school out of state? Well, DACA and undocumented students who meet certain eligibility requirements may qualify for in-state tuitions. States below are states that do meet certain eligibility requirements. It is extremely important to research the state's legislation for assistance to DACA and undocumented students. And it's also good to contact them just to see what their application process is like, what documents you need to submit, and what is valid.
So this page is just a bunch of resources that we've gathered for you. Most of these are going to be from our own university website, but they're going to be helpful to you even if you do not choose to apply to A&M Commerce. Texans is going to be the most important. This is where you can access the TASFA application, and it does have the versions in Spanish and English, just so you guys are aware. And these are some outside scholarship opportunities for students who are interested. These are not limited to the state of Texas, so please always research national, state, and local scholarship opportunities. So what does Texas A&M University of Commerce have to offer me? We have various departments and organizations on campus for our DACA undocumented students. The Intercultural Engagement Leadership Office, Hispanic Outreach, there are Mujeres de Acción, LAMP, the Katie Kai sorority. All of these organizations focus on just engaging our students and providing a type of influence and mentorship to these students who are coming in and don't know what is going on or how to go about college. So please just reach out to our office. My email is below, katie.perez@tmuc.edu. You can always set up a one-on-one Zoom meeting with me, or just send me an email with the questions and concerns you may have. If you ever need to turn something in, our address and our fax are here listed on this screen. Please just know that we are here to help you, and we're excited to have you apply to A&M Commerce.